So here is a pretty interesting story, and this basically talks about how Donald Trump's attorneys, who have basically been bringing up frivolous lawsuit after frivolous lawsuit, they've won, I think, one case, but that one case that they won wasn't really a victory, didn't actually mean anything. So that makes them like 1 in 5 billion, I think, or 5 trillion maybe. But seriously, I think they're like 1 for 25 or 1 for 50 or something like that. It's really, really bad. But what it says is Trump attorneys risk disciplinary action over wave of election suits. It says the attorneys behind President Trump's failing effort to overturn the elections are facing mounting ethics complaints for advancing what critics say is a frivolous legal campaign designed to delegitimize President-elect Joe Biden's win and bolster Trump's post-election fundraising. Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani, as well as allies Sidney, Powell, and Lin Wood, have been accused of pressing lawsuits larded up with unreliable assertions, flimsy claims, and even outright lies in violation of their obligations as officers of the court. As a result, judges and bar associations may soon face the task of sorting out whether these legal efforts amount to hard-fought advocacy, or if they've crossed the line. According to experts in legal ethics, disciplinary sanctions could include fines, private or public censure, law license suspension, or even disbarment. The possibility of Trump-allied attorneys facing disciplinary action was in many ways sparked by their woeful win-loss record in court. By some estimates, the campaign and its allies have prevailed in only a minor case affecting a sliver of Pennsylvania mail ballots, while at the same time losing or withdrawing in more than 50 rounds in state and federal court. Essentially, the rules require lawyers to screen out junk from the court in order to protect judicial resources, which are limited. Lawyers have a gatekeeper function, said Stephen Gillers, a law professor at New York University. The abysmal failure rate of the campaign's claims and the fact that claims are filed even after many losses reveal almost certain violations of these rules. So hopefully they will face some sanctions. People like Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani. I think that they both should be disbarred. They should not have they should not be they should not have law licenses, right? They should not be sort of approved by the bar to actually be practicing lawyers, and Lin Wood as well. These are all people that should be disbarred, absolutely, and also they should face fines as well, because it is true that judicial resources are indeed, they are limited, These are not things that are just unlimited, they are limited, and so it's absolutely true that if you're bringing up frivolous lawsuits, especially on something so important, and everybody knows that it's essentially a fundraising mechanism for Trump to pay for his future legal fees, current campaign debts, future debts, current debts, personal debts. So those kinds of things all coming into a combination should indeed result in disciplinary fines and sanctions against all of his attorneys that have been bringing up these cases, because they haven't resulted in anything. They haven't presented any real evidence. This article also goes on to state that some of the lawyers were filing like false affidavits and were signing petitions in other people's names and stuff like that. So basically there's just a lot of malpractice going on here. And something like this, where you're trying to overturn an election with zero evidence whatsoever, and you've provided no evidence in court, you've won one case that really didn't mean shit, you should face disciplinary action. You should face, sanctions. This is absolutely what should happen, and hopefully they're debarred to prevent something like this in the future from happening. And it would be really important to see fines and debarment and things of that nature, because this has been nothing short of a disaster.